Because I hear that the theme of this year's conference is going to be a big love-in, and then next year you'll have a big wake when you've lost the referendum.
I don't know, if we play our cards right, if we do our jobs properly over the next 12 months, then next year's conference will be a celebration of a yes vote and Scotland opting for independence. But I think that's getting ahead of ourselves. We've got work to do at this conference and beyond to convince people in Scotland that we can more than afford to be an independent country. We're one of the wealthiest countries in the world. Even the No campaign don't question that anymore. But secondly, we should be independent because it means decisions being taken here in Scotland by governments we vote for, not at Westminster by governments that very often we reject.
Why is, I mean, you keep on looking for this. When I last spoke to you, you were very excited. It was a year to the referendum and the momentum would build up in your favour.
I seem to remember you were the one that was very excited that day, but that's...
I'm always excited to talk to you. I'm always excited to talk to you, Nicola Sturgeon. But you were excited at the prospect it was only a year to go and things would start to move your way. But actually, support for independence just continues to flatline at about 25%. What's going to break that?
What we see in the opinion polls, and I'm not denying that we have a challenge, we've got to convince people. I remember just a few months before the SNP won an overall majority in the Scottish Parliament, the polls said we had no chance, we were 15 points behind Labour. The message I take from that is if we get our arguments right and pitch them properly, then those polls can be turned, and I believe that is what will happen. The polls say that as people become more informed, when they feel they have the information to base their decision on, then they're more likely to fall into the yes camp. So we'll publish next month our white paper on independence, and that will be the platform as we go into 2014 for making and winning that argument that Scotland could be and can be an independent country, but much more importantly, we should be an independent country, because it means no longer having governments that we don't vote for taking decisions that we don't agree with. We have the governments we vote for and they can take decisions in line with the priorities of people here in Scotland. Are
you, I mean, you gave the vote to 16 and 17-year-olds for this referendum, thinking younger people would be more nationalist, more in favour of independence. Are you surprised that that turns out not to be the case? I mean, I've seen there was a mock referendum with 11,000 school children, and in part of the country, very strongly nationalist, only 2,000 voted for independence.
Well, firstly, we extended the franchise to 16 and 17-year-olds because it's the right thing to do. Yeah. If you can get married and sign up for the army at 16, then I think you should have a vote, not just in a referendum, but in general elections as well. So that's the reason for that decision. Look, I think young people, like the population at large, want to have the information. They want to be persuaded, and that is both our challenge and our opportunity. We've seen a number of debates in recent weeks in Scotland where once people hear the arguments, they turn from being no or from being undecided to being yes. So that is our challenge and it is our opportunity. I think the publication of the government's white paper next month takes us into a new phase of the campaign, and we're very much looking forward to that. The referendum is there to be won, and I look forward to campaigning hard over the next few months to make sure that we do win it.
Is Alex Salmond going to take part in a live debate with the new Scottish Secretary, Alistair Michael? Will he take part in a debate?
I'm sure Alex Salmond will debate lots of people over...
With Alistair Darling, will he do that as well?
Apologies. I'm sure Alex Salmond will debate with lots of people between now and the referendum, but what we've said and what I will say here again today is that it is absolutely right and proper that there is a debate between the First Minister of Scotland and the Prime Minister. David Cameron seems perfectly happy, and I would say he has a right to intervene in this debate to persuade people to vote no, but if he's going to do that, then surely he has to be prepared to have that head-to-head debate with the First Minister. So I look forward to him changing his mind on that and seeing that debate take place.
I wouldn't hold your breath. But are you going to get a major debate between Alistair Darling and Alex Salmond on television? Will that happen?
Well, you know, I've already debated with Alistair Darling. I've debated with Michael Moore. Alex Salmond will debate with lots of people.
But will he debate with Alistair Darling on television?
I'm sure he will debate with all sorts of people between now and the referendum. But the first and foremost point here is that there should be that debate between the First Minister and the Prime Minister. What is the Prime Minister running scared of? That's the big question.
Well, what's Alex Salmond running scared of? And you can't say he'll definitely debate Alistair Darling. What's he running scared of?
And then Alex Salmond wants to debate the Prime Minister. I think that's right and proper. This is a debate about a transfer of powers from Westminster to the Scottish Parliament. Surely it's right and proper that the leader of the Scottish Government debates with the leader of the UK Government.
You've made that point, Nicola Sturgeon. I'm trying to get you to address, and that's for David Cameron to decide. I'm afraid I have no influence on that, so there's no point repeating it again and again. I'm asking you, why can you not commit Alex Salmond today to debate with either Alistair Carmichael or Alistair Darling or both? Why does he just not like people called Alistair?
I am sure. I am sure that between now and the referendum, Alex Salmond will debate with both of those people and many others making the positive case for independence. There's no issue or question about that. The real question is, why will David Cameron not agree to debate with Alex Salmond?
All right,
what
well,
is
we've
he running
done that.
scared of? That is the unanswered
I think we'll
question.
go round in circles. We enjoy debating with people called Nicola. Nicola Sturgeon, thanks for joining us from Perth.